Hello and welcome to the BVB update for July 15th. I'm Stefan Butzko, and in this format I cover Borussia Dortmund news and updates and other shenanigans of the day. And today, of course, Borussia Dortmund did travel to Bad Ragaz in Switzerland to start their training camp. But before I talk about this, I have a quick addendum to yesterday's coverage because Borussia Dortmund had their 5-0 win against Ferl, and there were a nice couple post-game quotes. And there were some by Marco Reus, just a few brief ones, but I still wanted to cover that. And he said yesterday, quote, "We know we don't have much time, so everything has to work very, very quickly. Things will not always look optimal at the beginning, but it is all the more important that the results are right, and then the sporting development is added afterwards." And about Edin Terzic being the old new coach, he said Terzic is bringing a breath of fresh air and is energizing the club. You can also see it by how the fans have reacted to his appointment. So yeah, nice couple of quotes there by Marco Reus that I just wanted to add. And yeah, let's go over to Borussia Dortmund traveling to Bad Ragaz. And surprise, surprise, Nico Schulz did make the cut. He is among the team, but yeah, let's start with the goalkeeper, since Dortmund have offered these nice graphics with Gregor Kobel, Alexander Meyer and Marcel Lotka. And I don't know if Lotka traveling with the team instead of Unbehauen is already a preview of who is going to be the third goalkeeper or not. But yeah, we shall see. In defense, we have Morey, Schlotterbeck, Guerrero, Schulz, Hummels, Akanji, Meunier, Süle, and Passlack. So as I already said before, Ruhrnachrichten did report at some point that Nico Schulz might not be included in the squad, but as you can see, he very much is. In midfield, also not many surprises there. We have Özcan, we have Reina, we have Dahoud, Hazard, Reus, Wolf, Brandt, Bellingham, Can, and Kamara. And yeah, it is nice to see Abdoulaye Kamara included because Dortmund do need more depth on the number 6. And in attack, we have Sebastian Aller, Youssoufa Moukoko, Daniel Malen, Karim Adeyemi, and Jamie Bino Gittens. And I should mention that Charlie Özcan did not make the trip with the team to Bad Ragaz this morning because he had more checkups in Dortmund after taking a hit during training. But Dirk Krampe from Ruhrnachrichten said earlier today that it's just a bruise, so nothing serious, but he still might have to lower his reps in training because of it. And yeah, obviously there are also a couple players that did not make the cut, maybe most prominently, if you will, is Prince Anning, because a lot of fans, I think, thought that he would definitely be there, but to me it was quite obvious that he would not be included because he's still very far behind in his development. He is nowhere near being a Bundesliga player, and additionally the third division will start in 10 days, so he obviously also needs to train with his new teammates of the under-23s. Similar things can be said about Antonios Papadopoulos, the center-back, or Leon Semic, the right-back, who obviously Terzic said he wanted to integrate more, and maybe another striker that I potentially could have seen make the trip with Dortmund to Bad Ragaz is Bradley Fink, because Dortmund, of course, only have Aller and Moukoko as true strikers. I don't know if you want to count Daniel Malen and Adeyemi, but they are, in my book, not exact number 9s, but, you know, it's okay. I think Dortmund also still have a winter break where they can add these players or, you know, during other training session if need be. But, yeah, of course, having them work out in the in Switzerland with the Alps in the background is always nice to see. Just like I also enjoy watching the Tour de France just because of you know, getting to see the French countryside and whatnot. So yeah, I hope no one gets injured. I think this is the main thing, especially players like Manuel Akanji that Dortmund still want to sell. I hope can stay fit and healthy, because if they tear something, that could be very detrimental. And yeah, moving on to another piece of non-news is that Sven Westerschulze tweeted earlier today that Borussia Dortmund's interest in David Raum persists, but there is still no feasible way to finance the transfer. So let's move on to some viewer comments, because yesterday I asked whether Borussia Dortmund should sell Hazard, Brandt and Can, because the reports were yesterday that Dortmund would not be against a transfer of any of those players. And yeah, Fernando Silva says yes, they should, plus Guerrero, Akanji and Schulz. Then we have Nilo Heat, who says yes, Hazard, do not sell Brandt, but definitely sell Emre Can. And then we have Veritas at Plockton Veritas. He writes in German, but yeah, he says obviously it depends on the alternatives. I guess making a very good point that Dortmund still need some squad depth. Cal from Milwaukee says no. Fair enough. And then Nikki at FootyGirl Nikki says, I say no. That would be saying bye-bye to squad depth to a degree, particularly for Brandt and Hazard. Those are two great players that might have just been suffering from inconsistencies under bad systems. So yeah, there you have it. Thank you very much for contributing and for commenting. And yeah, I'm gonna scratch my head a little and ask myself what other things we can discuss. But yeah, if you have any thoughts or questions, you can always drop them in the comments below. And of course, lastly, I want to read you a nice little quote from Toni Kroos, where he said on his podcast, Ed Sheeran has achieved something that I've rarely seen. It's that people left Schalke's stadium happy, which I thought was a very funny one when I read this morning. But obviously there's a slight flaw. There are always happy people leaving the Schalke arena. It's called the away fans. And on that note, it is time to end this episode. Thank you all for watching, for liking, subscribing, and of course commenting. And I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.